What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel. Now, today we are going to be talking about a Pokemon that has been added back with Pokemon Home, and it never really got a chance to shine back in Sun and Moon because it was added so late into that game's life cycle, but it's kind of running rampant now through OU, and that is Zeraora. Now, Zeraora, I think, is an amazing mon, and it stands out for several reasons. One, it's got base 143 speed. That's insane. It's ridiculously fast. It's faster than Dragapult by 1 point. And so that's basically why it is so prominent right now. And it's also why we're seeing a lot more Scarf Dragapult is to outspeed the that Zeraora. Yeah, it's pretty crazy seeing something that is this naturally fast, especially in OU. It's pretty insane, and I love it. I think it's awesome. But it also has a base 112 attack stat, and that's busted. Base 102 special attack stat, which isn't that bad. It can still do work off of its special attack, and so you're going to see a lot of mixed attacking sets, and it's pretty insane. I think this mon is very, very nice. So how do you counter it? How do you beat it? This series is all about team building and making your team stronger against those mons that are threats. And so what are we going to do about it? So first of all, before we get into it, I want to go ahead and say that this episode is going to look just a little bit differently than our previous episodes have. I'm going to be putting just the calcs on screen rather than the entire page. And so if you like this better, make sure to let me know down in the comments below. If you like the old way better, make sure to also let me know. And make sure to drop a like on all of my videos just so that I can know that you are enjoying the content. So our first mon that we're going to look at is going to be Hippowdon. Now, Hippowdon is an amazing physical wall. It got recently moved up to OU. It can set up stealth rocks. It has recovery in slack off. It has phasing in whirlwind. It also hits really hard with base 112 attack, same as Zeraora, and so it doesn't really even need all that much investment in order to do a bunch of damage. So this set right here that we've got is very typical, the Impish max defense set. And so if you can set up rocks with this before Zeraora comes in, and Zeraora comes in and wants to go for a close combat on you, yeah, it's doing 23 to 27. That's all it can do to you. And then Earthquake, guaranteed Okos after sand and rocks. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Now, where this thing becomes a problem is Zeraora is very, very flexible in what moves it can use. Now, you're always going to see Zeraora have Plasma Fists and Close Combat. Those two moves are required every time because they're just that good. The other two moves, however, are going to be a little bit more flexible, and that's where this thing becomes even more of a problem. So there are 4 moves that will typically fill the last 2 slots, and you have to just scout out for what those last 2 are. The first is Volt Switch. This thing is so fast that it doesn't even need a Scarf in order to Volt Switch out first. It's pretty crazy just how good Volt Switch is on this, and plus coming off of a base 102 special attack and stab, it's still going to do decent damage even without it being heavily invested. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. So another move is going to be Play Rough. Play Rough is going to be there for like Dragapult since it outspeeds it by 1 point. Yeah, Play Rough is really nice. It's also there for Kyurem, but it also has Close Combat there for that. Yeah, Play Rough is a little less common, but it's definitely not unheard of. So you do need to be prepared for it. We also have Grass Knot. Grass Knot is a big one because it is a strong special move that can hit ground types that typically would wall this, including Hippowdon, including Avalugg, which you see is going to come up later. Any of your ground types are going to be hit by this Grass Knot. The biggest one, though, being Seismitoad. Seismitoad is on so many teams right now because it is just so good. And this basically gives it a way to completely just nuke it without it ever becoming a threat at all. So you do have to make sure to scout for those last 2 moves. So you always have Plasma Fists and Close Combat. You have to scout for the last 2. It can be any of those 4. So basically what this does is you set up the rocks and you go for Earthquake on it going for Close Combat. Even Grass Knot you can live, just not well. Grass Knot does 71 to 84 to you, and then you fire back with an Earthquake and it's going to drop. So that is one thing to consider, is that you can kill it. However, you do have to make sure that you do have to make sure that you have enough HP in order to take a Grass Knot. So the next check is going to be Avalug. Now, Avalug is the premier physical wall outside of Wheezing in UU, and it does an amazing job with that because it has 184 defense, which is absolutely insane, and 95 HP is also not bad. So it's very, very bulky, and base 117 attack is also very nice. That's actually higher than Zeraora. So we're going to be using that as well as the massive defense, and basically Zeraora can barely touch you. Plasma Fist does 22 to 26, Close Combat does 36 to 42. The most this thing can do is with Grass Knot 53 to 62, and that is what you have to be careful of, and that's why I say to scout beforehand. That is because if it has Grass Knot, it can 2-hit KO you before you can 2-hit KO it. However, any other move, if it does not carry Grass Knot, you can 2-hit KO your opponent with Avalanche because he is always going to be going first. Body Press is a roll to 2-hit KO. It's a 99.6% chance to 2-hit KO, so it's very much in your favor. So if Body Press is a safer option for you, you can totally click that. But Avalanche is a guaranteed 2-hit KO. And yeah, it's great. You also have Recover if you need to get some health back if he's hitting you with Close Combat or Plasma Fists. And of course, if he hits you with a Close Combat, he's going to be taking even more damage from both of your attacks. And so it just makes Avalug that much more of a check. Alright, so those are our defensive checks, and so now we're going to our offensive checks. Our first one is going to be Scarf Terrakion. Now, we covered Terrakion yesterday in our competitive decks episode. If you missed that, make sure to check it out in the iCard above. But basically, this thing is busted and hits extremely hard, does a ton of damage, and it's got a great typing, it's got a great move pool, it does a lot of things really, really well. However, what this thing can do is you can go for an Earthquake. It has Earthquake, it has Close Combat, it has Stone Edge. Earthquake does the most to a Zeraora, and it does 87 to 102. Now, that may not sound great because that's only an 18% chance to OHKO. However, if you get rocks up with one of your teammates, then it goes to a 93% chance to OHKO. I like those odds. If you get up one layer of spikes, it is also a 93% chance to OHKO. If you get up 2 layers of spikes, it is an OHKO. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. The other thing would be if this thing has used its Life Orb already. So typically these things run Life Orb, some of them run Choice Band. However, if it has used one move with its Life Orb already and taken that 10% damage, then it is an 81% chance to OHKO. So that is one thing to keep in mind, is that as it whittles itself away, your OHKOs become that much easier. Now, you do outspeed now that you're holding a Scarf. You are 519 speed with your Scarf being Jolly. You actually can run Adamant and still outspeed. Let's see, if you're Adamant, you will actually be 472 speed, which is still faster than Zeraora's 423. So you could run Adamant on this and still be just fine, but I typically run Jolly on this just so that you can outspeed other prominent Scarfers. Alright, the next Scarfer is going to be Excadrill. Now, Excadrill is not typically run as a Scarfer, and, but I think it can work. We have run a Scarf Excadrill way back in a Wi-Fi battle before, and it absolutely put in work. People don't expect it. They expect the Focus Sash variant, and so people will stay in on it and just freely attack it. But if they're low enough and you just go for an attack, you'll take them out before they even get a chance to hit you. This thing has a base 135 attack, which is absolutely insane, and base 110 HP, so it's not like the frailest thing in the world. Base 60 defense and 65 special defense is pretty bad, but 110 HP really, really helps this thing out a lot. So, but at max attack, you will OHKO any Zeraora with Earthquake every single time, and you're faster now that you are Scarfed. Keep in mind that if you do not have a Scarf on this, then Close Combat will OHKO you, and you also cannot run Adamant on this. Adamant Scarf is not faster. So you do need to keep that in mind. Adamant Scarf gets you just below the Zeraora speed, and that just shows you how fast Zeraora is. Yeah, it's pretty insane. So you do have to run Jolly Scarf on this if you want to outspeed Zeraora, otherwise you will die. So the next one is going to be a Cloister. Now, Cloister is not typically something you would think would be a counter to our boy Zeraora. However, if you are at +2 on your attack, +2 on your speed, because, you know, Shell Smash is a thing. Shell Smashing gets you to 524 speed if you are Jolly, and 478 speed if you are Adamant, which are both faster than a Zeraora, even if it is plus speed nature. And then Icicle Spear is a guaranteed OHKO. Rock Blast is a 93% chance to OHKO. Both of these, I like those odds. And even if you get set up like that, you're going to do 46% minimum with Ice Shard, which is pretty insane. So if this thing's been worn down a little bit, maybe by its Life Orb, then you can come in and pick up that KO for almost free, basically. Do keep in mind that close combat comes very close to OHKOing you, and Plasma Fists actually has a 75% chance to OHKO, and that is assuming that you have not had any drops, so that's assuming maybe you had a White Herb here. But if you run Focus Sash, then you're good. You get off your Shell Smash for free, and you don't have to worry about any of the defense drops. Grass Knot would OHKO you by like a lot, so that's why I have Focus Sash here. But if you were to run a White Herb, then you have a 25% chance to live a Plasma Fist. I don't like those odds. And you have a 100% chance to live a close combat, but not well. So I think Focus Sash is a great way to make this a counter. Just, of course, make sure that you have Defog or Rapid Spin on your team so that you don't come in and take rocks damage. Alright, our last one is going to be Scarf Darmanitan. Scarf Darmanitan is absolutely amazing in OU right now, and it can just straight OHKO a Zeraora if it is Jolly Scarf. It doesn't need to be Adamant, it doesn't need any fancy tricks. You hit this thing, you hit a Zeraora with a Flare Blitz, and it will drop. Now, of course, you don't want to run a Banded set because it will be slower than Zeraora. At least you don't want a Banded set to be your designated counter, because you will die to a Plasma Fist. It has a 25% chance to OHKO you. I don't like those odds personally. You know, you've got a chance to survive, but I don't like those odds. So yeah, you'll want to keep, you'll want to have a Scarf on this if you want it to be your check to Zeraora. And your Flare Blitz kills 100% of the time. Earthquake kills 56% of the time. It's strong. It's very good. And I think that this is a very appropriate check and counter to Zeraora. So that is going to be it for today. And so let me know, guys, down in the comments below what you think about Zeraora now that it is in this metagame, and let me know what you think of these counters, and also let me know in the comments below what other counters maybe that I missed, and make sure that you drop those below. Make sure you leave a like on the video. It really helps me out. We are a new channel. We're still growing, and so all of your support is really appreciated. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.